Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the appeal that had been made in the conviction and sentencing of former Cumbie Independent School District math teacher Lucas Ray Hill. Hill was sentenced to 33 years, 9 months in federal prison on Friday, August 19, 2016. He was found guilty of enticement of a minor. He will also serve a 5-year supervised release when he leaves prison after serving the day-for-day sentence. According to Lewis Tatum, now Hopkins County Sheriff, then the Chief Criminal Investigator, the sentence was the maximum allowed by federal law guidelines. On May 30, 2015, Hill was arrested for impersonation, name and persona to create a page, and for possession of child pornography. A woman in Florida called a Hopkins County resident regarding someone who lived in her rent house locally. The renter, according to the property owner, was being harmed by the renter's boyfriend. The local resident called Hopkins County Sheriff's Office. The Hopkins County Sheriff's deputies who responded found that the female renter was being threatened by Paige Spencer Whitworth, age 48, of Picton. Whitworth apparently had possession of a gun while in the disturbance. Whitworth was loud, verbally abusive, and non-cooperative with the officers. Whitworth is now in Hopkins County Jail, held on a $50,000 bond, and charged with aggravated assault family violence with a deadly weapon, a first-degree felony. A Hopkins County deputy was notified by Hunt County deputies that he observed a man and woman arguing inside a vehicle on westbound I-30. At the 138-mile marker, the argument ended when the Hopkins County deputy located the described vehicle driving in the left lane where prohibited. When contact was made with the two, one of the subjects, Edwin Trevon Carter, age 35 of Dallas, was found to be wanted on an outstanding warrant for assault causing bodily injury in El Paso. He is now in Hopkins County Jail.
Visiting us on today's morning show was the corresponding secretary for Hopkins County Genealogical Society, Rhonda Beachhold, and she is part of forming a children's workshop for genealogy detectives. It's set for June 10th, and sign-ups are going on now for kids in 3rd grade and up. But there is much more going on at our Hopkins County Genealogical Society library. Let's find out.
We have a program that we're going to be doing June the 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. and it's presenting the workshop book that's going to teach children how to do genealogy. We're asking that they bring a grandparent or a parent or aunt and uncle, an adult with them. We're going to be covering different topics like doing a family group chart, creating a timeline. We're going to have a snack break, and then we're going to go to the cemetery, and we're going to let them do detective work and find certain signs and things that are on the headstones there.
Such as a rose or
a rose, the praying hands, the Masonic Lodge emblem, different things like that.
Well, it sounds interesting, and it sounds like outdoor fun for kids, but it's also learning. In fact, genealogy is a lifelong interest for some people.
Yes, it is, and it's full of questions for kids to ask their parents and grandparents and get involved in it and start getting interested in it at a young age.
Okay. Do you have your booklet there? It's going to look like this. Each child is going to get one of the bound booklets here, presented by the Hopkins County Genealogical Society, which the idea for the detective workshop is not your own. However, you did put together this handy workbook.
Right. Our librarian, Jan Stovall, created a little book we're going to give to each child that comes in. It's a $10 fee for each child, and their adult is free. And we'd love for them to register. We have a few spaces left.
Okay, so there is limited space.
Yes.
Okay.
And the deadline for registration is June the 3rd, so we'll need them to come by the library or give us a call at 903-885-8523, or they can stop by the library at 611 North Davis Street.
Which, of course, is inside our public library.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hope your kids are already, patrons of the public library.
We're all hoping that they will be, and we're all excited
Yeah. Well,
It's going to be a fun workshop.
you have not been with our genealogical group for a long, long time. Is that right?
I've been with them for about 2 years.
Okay. And you are the communicating secretary?
I'm corresponding secretary.
Okay. Got it. And how about your own genealogical search?
I'm 13 generations back on my father's side.
Okay.
So I'm actually, you get to file for First Family and Pioneer Family, and I'm First Family of Brown County, which is Brownwood, Texas.
Okay.
But I'm getting to see lots of First Family and Pioneer families here in Hopkins County, and it's fun working with them.
So even though it's maybe late in a person's life before they've ever picked up this interest, they may discover that theirs is a first family.
Correct.
Or a pioneer family.
Correct.
And that's certainly worth digging out.
It's fun digging up your roots, finding out where you come from.
Now, we were going to have John Sellers here with us this morning, who loves history and genealogy and has a head full of knowledge. And he may still walk into our interview. We'll just hold a chair for him.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit more while we have time, and we do have time to talk. And we'll come back to our genealogy detective workshop before we end this. But there's some books that are already going or out there, and some that are still being compiled on subjects that local people will want to know about.
Yes, we have an 1895 book that was just done. We have a book from Sidney Bryce. It's a collection of her things that we've put in book form.
She was an early historian along with her husband.
Yes.
And they have passed on the scene now, but left a whole bunch of material. In fact, it was in our library, but now recompiled.
Yes. It's been recompiled all into a book. It's really, really nice. It's been doing real well. A lot of public interest in it, a lot of stories and things. Also, we're working on a 1914 book that's almost complete. We had Shirley Patchen had asked if anyone had any pictures that they still wanted to add to the book from 1914. The deadline's getting near for that book. It's almost complete, and we'd love to add them if they have them.
So what you're seeking are pictures or information specifically for the year of 1914?
Yes, ma'am. Any businesses, homes, anything like that they would like to add to the 1914 book.
And I know Shirley has really taken a passion for seeking out this kind of information.
Yes, ma'am, she has done really well with it. And then we also still have our World War I book that our archivist, Earl Pogue, put together, had some help with some researchers and volunteers. And it's all the soldiers from Hopkins County, and is working on the World War II book now for all the World War II soldiers in Hopkins County.
So World War I is complete.
It's complete in the library.
And for sale?
Yes.
Okay. And World War II is being compiled.
Right.
So more things can be added from listeners, people in the community.
Yes, we're researching every soldier that we can find from Hopkins County.
So if you have a World War II soldier with a photo or some documentation,
right,
let them know at the genealogical library they're interested.
Yes, we'll check our list and see if we've got them on there or not.
Back on these other two books that we had talked about, the collection of Kenneth and Sidney Bryce Early Histories of Hopkins County, and it goes from 1846 through 1894.
Yes.
And that's $30. If you need it shipped to you or to someone you want to send it to, it's just an extra $3.
Correct.
And that sure makes a nice gift from home.
It does. And we're set up now to where we can just send you an invoice and they can do it over PayPal.
Okay.
And that works out real well for people. We can just mail them or email them an invoice for that.
The Hopkins County 1895 souvenir booklet, both of these we've just been talking about are compiled from information already in our genealogical library, just recompiled for, let's say, our newer readers.
Right, it is. And there's a lot of information in there about the town, the community, the county, the different people. It's just, even if you don't have anybody that you're related to in that book, it's the community, the county information that's really helpful to see where you live. And
yeah, it's really fascinating. I think John had mentioned that the places referred to in these books are identified by, let's say, the southwest corner instead of where Babcock's used to be or something like that.
Right. There has been some research that we've done where it gives a direction of looking for the tree that has the 3 X's in it, or a stake on the left side or the south side. And so then you can, some of it's like, well, that's where this used to be, or now the building sits here that is this store that used to be that store or that place. So it's fun researching it.
I think some older ones, even if they don't still live here, would really treasure this because it's going to spark memories of places they had been or people they had known here.
Yes, we had a couple of people come in the other day that haven't been at our library since they were young children, and just sitting down and reading stuff brought back a lot of memories for them, and they didn't even realize that it was in our library. We have a huge selection of Hopkins County material that you can find a lot in.
And it is organized right at a person's fingertips. It's a wonderful, wonderful library we have. The Genealogy Detective Workshop open to children. You just have a few slots left.
Yes. It's from 3rd grade up.
Okay.
If they're going into 3rd grade up, we would love to have them. Like we say, bring a grandparent or an adult with you that can help you answer questions, like with your family members and stuff, that they'll get to write in their charts and do. We're going to have a little skit for them. We're going to have snacks. We're going to do the cemetery detective walk.
So it'll be held on Saturday, June 10th from 1 to 4,
yes,
starting from the Genealogical Library at 611 North Davis.
Yes.
And so, again, that phone number to sign the kids up?
It is 903-885-8523.
Okay. We thank you very much, Rhonda Beach Holt, for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats varsity 7-on-7 football team won both games that they played against Paris Tuesday at Paris. The Wildcats JV split a pair of games. Wildcats football offensive coordinator Matt Young said some 30 to 35 players participated. He said it was a great night, although he mentioned that he could see a little bit of rust since the 7-on-7 teams haven't played anyone in a while. Still, Coach Young said it was a good night for catching and throwing. He said he saw very few dropped passes. Coach Young said Simeon Taylor caught some deep passes. Landry Tyson was able to get behind the Paris defense. Jace Thompson and Bryce McQueen worked the middle of the field. Austin Dodd worked across the field, and Kason Goodson helped coming out of the backfield. Coach Young said both quarterbacks, Ryan Humphreys and Decorian Young, played really well. He said they showed accuracy and a great command of the offense. Coach Young said he enjoyed watching them work together. He said 7-on-7 team members have been practicing in the multi-purpose building about twice a week since school's been out. They are preparing for 2 state qualifier tournaments coming up in June. One involving all East Texas teams is in Tyler on Saturday, June 17th, and the other, featuring lots of Metroplex teams, is in Rowlett on Friday, June 23rd.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.